I don't want us to have. I'm told you where the vehicle is.
The truck was actually coming from Ring Road. It missed a step. So as it was trying to gather itself, it fell.
What we are witnessing these days, it is something we can no longer understand.
They should stop telling us and promising us all those promises are fake, giving us this set of promises are fake. We don't want it anymore.
A pleasant evening to you and many thanks for joining us on Beetv Major News at 6, coming to you live from Benin City, the Edo State Capital. I am Evelyn Zibili. Now the news in details. Residents of Ogege and Charismatic Road off Ekenwan Road in Benin City have expressed gratitude to Edo State Governor Senator Monday Okpebholo for his unwavering commitment to transforming infrastructure across the state. They gave the commendation when the governor visits the construction site to inspect the level of work done. Favor Kolawole has details.
The residents praised the ongoing construction of their road, describing the project as a much-needed intervention that has brought relief to the community after years of abandonment. One resident, Osas Uyi, noted that the deplorable condition of the road inflicted persistent hardship on all of them, particularly during the raining season, when erosion, flooding, and deep potholes render movement almost impossible. Others said commercial drivers had to consistently avoid the route due to its decrepit state, compelling residents to trek long distance to access transportation. They further lamented that businesses within the area equally suffer significant setbacks as customers found it extremely difficult to reach shops and offices. Some shop owners along the Charismatic Road disclosed that the ongoing construction by the Edo State government has already restored confidence among residents and investors, expressing optimism that completed projects will enhance economic activities and improve security in the neighborhood. A trader known as Mama Peace, who sells roasted plantain at the Charismatic Junction of Ekenwa Road, said they hope that the contractors will uphold high standard and deliver quality work within the stipulated time frame. They described the road construction as tangible evidence of the governor's dedication to grassroots development and improved living conditions for the people of Edo State. Favor Kolawole reporting for Beetv News.
The Edo State government has given 3 community youth leaders, popularly known as Okaigeles, a 7-day ultimatum to appear before the Special Security Squad, codenamed Operation Flush Out Cultists and Kidnappers, over the recent resurgence of cultism in Benin City. This move by the Edo State government is aimed at addressing cultism in the state. Beetv News' best orator has details.
The Okaigele of Obazagon community, Innocent Okonze, an alleged member of Black Ass Confraternity, is currently custody, while those expected to turn in themselves include the Okaigele of Obagi, Ofumegbe, and Are communities, respectively. Following the recent killings in some parts of Benin, the Special Security Squad, led by the Principal Security Officer to Edo State Governor, carried out a series of raids, including arrest of some suspected cultists at Amagba community in Oedo and Obagi community in Ikpobaha, local government areas of Edo State, while other cult members have been declared wanted. After a raid at Amagba community, according to them, 2 suspected Black Ass Confraternity members identified as Osaze Omoyi and Osao Anito were arrested. The spokesperson for the squad, Eribo Emanta, explained that preliminary investigations linked the Okaigeles and 5 others who escaped from the raided compound to the recent court killings. Emanta explained that the Okaigele of Obazagbon community, suspected to be a Black Ass confraternity member, Innocent Okwonze, was arrested after weapons and live ammunition were found in a Highlander jeep driven by the community CSO, Mr. Gospower Obayuwana, who happened to be his cousin.
To do a very thorough search where these people were arrested. And the government of the state is giving the following people 7 days ultimatum to report themselves to the government house. The Okaigele of Obage community, Dada is to report himself to the office of the Special Security Squad. The Okaigele of Ofuvengbe is also given 7 days to report himself. The Okaigele of Ama community is also given 7 days to report himself.
Mr. Amata said following recent court disturbance in the state, an intelligence report led by the raiding and arrest of 2 Aye court members at Yuwa Kokoma Street in Amagba, GRA, the squad, according to him, has made huge success with the arrest in pursuance of its responsibilities and duties in making the state crime-free from killing and other social vices. Speaking further, Emata urged members of the community, citizens of Edo State who know these people and have vital information that will lead to the arrest to call relevant security agencies and provide them with such information. Also speaking, Secretary of the Special Security Squad, Mr. John Esekaigbe, assured that with the coordination of the Principal Security Officer to the Governor, the mandate to ensure a court-free state will be achieved, with more arrests and prosecution to be made as investigations continue.
The activities carried out yesterday and the raiding and intelligence gathered, we are here at the premises of the corporates or victims, or the courtists that we arrested. And the squad has made a very huge success in our mandate to make this state crime-free, free from killings and other social vices. The following people have been declared wanted in Edo State: Enayas, Coco, Amani, Sparrow, and Dada. They will be arrested wherever they see, and we are appealing to members of the community, wherever you see these individuals, please call the nearest security operative.
These signs and wonders they won't believe. These are the signs and these are the wonders. The clear cultists take out of cultism and there's no way there. The governor has sounded it and he means it. And these are part of the signs. The arrests were tremendous yesterday and they are yielding fruitful results. We are doing further arrests, and those persons they just mentioned that they are saying they should come, for their own good they should come. Otherwise, they will still face the route of declared wanted. And whatever is declared wanted, you know what that means in the state.
Speaking on his level of involvement, Osaze Omoyi, popularly known as Desmond Tutu, confessed that he is an internet fraudster and has been a member of Black Ass since 2012, but denied his involvement in the recent killing in the state. He noted that one Doviani brought home on Sunday, 15 February 2026, and now recovered Lexus Jeep suspected to be used in the killings, as well as a bag containing a pop-action gun, a beret, a pistol, live ammunition, as well as different photographs, including that of a couple, were recovered.
Doviano carry the bag enter his house. I don't know get among them, but I carry the bag. Now Doviano I carry enter his house. Yes.
Doviano is your friend.
Yes, remember.
He's your friend.
Yes.
How long?
He's on now for no each other.
How long you don't remember?
Since 2012.
How many operations you don't go since that?
I haven't got any operations, sir.
So what thing you do for this house?
Me now Yahoo media they do.
Are you on the court?
I mean, I be member of MBN, sir.
No, are you a courtesan? Who should be MBN? Which member?
I dey drink. Now she come outside, I say turn for the drink. Now enter inside because if I near them, they will pause for what they discuss. Let me take come inside. I call it do my normal hustle. I me then inside when me say they tell no gate say me open this gate. I tell open gate because I say na force me the outside.
Edo State government is maintaining a zero tolerance to courtism and other form of crimes. Best orator reporting for BTV News.
Reiterating the earlier said reports, the Edo State government has given 3 community youth leaders, popularly known as the Okaigeles, a 7-day ultimatum to appear before the Special Security Squad, code-named Operation Flush Out Cultists and Kidnappers, over the recent resurgence of cultism in Benin City. This move by the Edo State government is aimed at addressing cultism in the state. Beetv News' best orator has details. Moving on to the next report, members of the Bara community, widows and families of deployed soldiers were beneficiaries of a special Ramadan and Lenten outreach organized by the 4th Brigade Nigerian Army in partnership with the Ocean Wave Supports in Benin City. Beetv News' Zaina Mohammed reports that the event held at the Nawa Skill Acquisition Center, Ekenwa Cantonment, aimed to provide essential food items, wrappers, and other necessities, while also reinforcing community solidarity and support for vulnerable families. The report is presented by Best Orator.
Okay. Come, there's rapper, bring those rapper inside.
The outreach at Nawaski Acquisition Center, Ekewa Cantonment of the Nigerian Army, was filled with joy and excitement as widows, barracks families, and community members gathered to receive support from the 4th Brigade Nigerian Army in partnership with Ocean Wave Group. In his remarks, the commander, 4th Brigade Nigerian Army, Benin City, Brigadier General Ahmed Olatubosun Balogun, emphasized the Army's ongoing commitment to supporting the families of personnel, particularly those on duty and unable to be with their loved ones. He highlighted the collaboration with Ocean Wave Group in providing essential support, including provisions for widows and vulnerable families, noting that the gesture reflects compassion, unity, and care within the military community. He expressed gratitude to the group for their consistent humanitarian efforts, which brings comfort and hope during Ramadan and Lenten period. He called on everyone to recognize the importance of collective support, community solidarity, and sustained engagement in caring for those who serve the nation.
What we are witnessing this evening is a show of love, of concern, and humanity by a distinguished humanitarian par excellence in the person of the president of the Ocean Wave Group, Mr. Peter Omodunia. And this time we said, no, it should not be only about the wife of our fallen heroes alone. No. We have those that are actively fighting, defending the nation now. They are in the northeast, they are in the northwest. They are not here with their family. They are sacrificing their time and the comfort of their family to be in the front line so that we can be here to work. And we still will not forget them. And by the grace of God, they are also part of this outreach this evening. So indeed, man, we are very grateful. Please extend our deepest and warmest appreciation to the president of the Ocean Wave Group.
Also speaking, the garrison commander, Lieutenant General Abdul Awa, emphasized the importance of recognizing the sacrifices of families of deployed personnel. He noted that the distribution of food and essentials was not just material support, but a gesture of compassion, unity, and encouragement. He also expressed gratitude to the partners and organizers, assuring beneficiaries of the brigade's continued commitment to their welfare.
In every society, widows and vulnerable families deserve care, respect, and support. They are not forgotten. They are not forgotten members of our community. Many of them have made sacrifices directly or indirectly in service to our nation. It is therefore our responsibility to stand by them, encourage them, and remind them that they are valued. The distribution is not just about food items or material support. It is about compassion, unity, and the spirit of the family. As the commander for Brigade Garrison, I want to most sincerely thank Ocean Wave for this endless support, for letting us know that you care about the army and in particular for Brigade. We say thank you all.
Setting the tone for generosity and community spirit, Honorable Habibat Yakubu, on behalf of Mr. Peter Omo Jr., President of Ocean Wave, addressed the gathering, emphasizing the outreach mission to support widows, barracks families, and the vulnerable communities during the season of giving. She highlighted Mr. Omo Jr.'s long-standing commitment to community development, including contributions in infrastructure, healthcare, education, and empowerment programs for youth and women. She stated that the outreach held during Ramadan and the Lenten season provides essential support to vulnerable families and honor the families of fallen personnel. Through these efforts, the Ocean Wave Group reinforced community solidarity, compassion, and support for those contributing to national development.
Beyond this corporate sphere, Mr. Junior has become a nationally recognized figure for his large-scale, self-funded humanitarian interventions. He is a man dedicated to uplifting communities, particularly in Edo State and beyond, through impactful initiatives in infrastructure development, education empowerment, in healthcare, in community engagement, youth empowerment, women empowerment, widow support, healthcare, and education. As we have approached the sacred month of Ramadan and the Christian calendar Lenten season, Mr. Peter Omo Jr. has asked me to extend his warmest wishes and support to our widows, to their families, and the barrack community.
After a warm welcome, beneficiaries were guided to receive their palliatives. The scene reflected joy and relief as widows and barrack families stepped forward, each receiving support with gratitude and hope.
Elijah, taking this thing now.
In an interview, some of the widows and beneficiaries expressed their deep appreciation to the donors, the Nigerian Army, and the president of Ocean Wave Group, describing the support as a profound act of kindness that brings comfort, encouragement, and recognition of sacrifices, while also strengthening community bonds and inspiring hope for the future.
For what this man just doing in our life, he puts smile in our face. He makes us today to remember our husband. May the good Lord bless him. Whatever he put in hand, he will succeed in life. God will make a way where there is no way. In the name of Jesus.
And we appreciate the givers. We pray that God Almighty will bless them, enlarge them, increase them, in the mighty name of Jesus.
I am very happy. I'm so glad. Because ever since inception, when I lost my husband, I have not gained this kind of opportunity. I appreciate it. To the donor, I'm very grateful. May God Almighty continue to bless him. His pocket will not be empty, and he will not witness this kind of situation in his young age.
The outreach organized by the 4 Brigades Nigerian Army in collaboration with Ocean Wave Group showcased powerful display of compassion and community support. Best Orator reporting for Beetv News.
A former secretary to the Edo State government and senior pastor of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor Dr. Osaige Zeyamu Esquire, has been inaugurated as chairman of the newly constituted Board of Trustees of the University of Benin Trust Development Fund at the historic ceremony held at the Akindeko Auditorium, Ugbawa campus of the University of Benin. Beetv News Temitope Oluwafemi reports that the milestone ceremony was well attended.
The inauguration ceremony attracted distinguished academic stakeholders from across the country and in the diaspora. Among those in attendance were the Executive Governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Okpebolo, represented by the Commissioner for Education, Edo State, Dr. Padi Iyamu, The Vice Chancellor, University of Benin, Professor Edoba Omorege SAN, and his wife, Professor Mrs. Shina Omoege, the Chief Medical Director, University of Benin Teaching Hospital, and wife of Pastor Izeyamo, Professor Mrs. Idia Izeyamo, the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Governing Council, University of Benin, Professor Shuaibu Umaru, members of the Board of Trustees, and other notable guests. In his address, the Vice Chancellor, University of Benin, Professor Edoba Omorege, explained that the initiative was conceived from the realization that government alone cannot shoulder the financial burden of public universities and that there is a limit to the level that can reasonably be imposed on students. He described the Trust Development Fund and its Board of Trustees as the first of its kind in the country. According to him, the board will work closely with the university management to address critical institutional needs, sponsor scholarships, provide welfare support for students, and recognize and reward excellence among staff and students.
This networking has become imperative in view of the reality that government alone cannot bear the burden of public university education. The reality is made even more poignant, knowing that there is a limit to the school charges that can be levied in public institutions of learning. The main objective of the fund are as follows. First, to work with university management to identify infrastructure and academic needs of the university. Second, to forge partnership with alumni, organizations, and friends of the university.
High point of the event was the administration of the oath of office by Professor Nancy Njoku Ogba, Commissioner for Oath for the occasion, who formally handed over the oath documents to members of the Board of Trustees. Formally inaugurating the board, the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Governing Council, Professor Shuaibu Umaru, congratulated the newly inaugurated members, describing the development as a historic achievement and the first of its kind in the nation's university system. He also highlighted the educational reforms introduced under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, particularly the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, which he described as a remarkable achievement impacting the lives of many Nigerians.
I want to declare formally and legally that the trust fund has been inaugurated. Under the leadership of President Ahmed Asuwaju Bola Ahmed has been bringing out different policies, positive policies that are touching the life of every stakeholder in Nigerian education system. This initiative we are today implementing is one of such policies.
In his acceptance speech, a newly inaugurated chairman of the board, Pastor Dr. Osage Ezeyamo, expressed appreciation to all who honored the invitation. He described the inauguration as more than a ceremonial event, saying that it is a defining institutional milestone and a covenant with the future. He noted that the ceremony was historic because it signified vision and long-term commitment to educational advancement. He commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the renewed hope agenda, which he said recognizes education as one of Nigeria's most strategic investments. He also praised Governor Monday Okpebholo for his dedication to education, noting that his commitment has inspired immense confidence and earned him recognition, including a Governor of the Year award in education by Telegraph newspaper. Pastor Dr. Osage Ezeyamo further acknowledged all who have contributed to the growth of the University of Benin in its 55 years of existence, stressing that their name deserves to be enshrined in the institution's Hall of Fame.
The Development Fund is the University of Benin's strategic response to that global imperative. This fund represents a bridge between aspiration and achievement, a catalyst for research, innovation, and global relevance, a safety net for brilliant or disadvantaged students, a vehicle for infrastructural renewal that reflects the dignity for the first century scholar. As chairman of this board of trustees, I will undertake this obligation with solemn commitment and unwavering resolve. This board shall not be symbolic, it shall be strategic. It shall not be passive, it shall be purposeful. It shall not merely exist, it shall perform. Our mandate is clear: to mobilize resources, inspire confidence, and safeguard the credibility of this institution.
Pastor Osage Ezeyamo stated that his acceptance of the role is deeply rooted in his profound belief in the transformative power of education, for which he holds enduring gratitude. He assured that the Board of Trustees would serve as both a bridge and a safety net for disadvantaged students, emphasizing that the board will not merely be symbolic but significant, not merely exist but perform. He also pledged that all funds will be managed with transparency and accountability.
This honor is firmly rooted in tangible results Be assured, therefore, that this board will seek your partnership to translate this shared momentum into lasting, measurable progress.
The inauguration ceremony featured cultural performances by students of the Theatre Arts Department of the University of Benin, adding color and vibrancy to the occasion. A goodwill message was delivered by Governor Monday Okpawilo, who was represented by Dr. Paddy Iyamu, Commissioner for Education, Edo State, as well as Professor Eddie Iriagbe and other members of the newly inaugurated board.
Today, with this initiative, we are rest assured that Uniben is on the right path to meaningful development and progress. So a lot has been said about the Nelfon program. A lot has been said about, what we are doing at the state level to improve the fabric of education in Edo State. Is the Commissioner for Education.
In an interview with newsmen, the Vice Chancellor, Professor Edoba Amoegi SAN, stated that no other person was better suited for the role of chairman, expressing gratitude that Pastor Dr. Osage Zeyamu accepted the responsibility. He also commended the Post-Chancellor for his fatherly leadership and expressed confidence that the newly inaugurated board will significantly strengthen the university's capacity to address pressing challenges.
There's no other person that will give in a review that seems to fit the bill in terms of his capacity, in terms of his commitment, in terms of his interest. Because many persons were approached, but Pastor Sagi Zeyamu, to the glory of God, agreed to be part of this as chairman. But I have to commend especially the chairman of the Governing Council of our university, Professor Umaru Shuaibu, for his fatherliness. When this idea was brought up in council, he readily embraced it.
Also in an interview, Pastor Dr. Sagi Zeyamu assured that the board will not act in isolation. He noted that with the Vice Chancellor serving as a member, the board will be properly guided on the university's needs. He added that the trustees actively engage alumni within Nigeria and in the diaspora and will immediately begin work to advance the objectives of the Trust Development Fund.
So we are going to be a stopgap, complement, the funding and give all the support that we can. So luckily the Vice Chancellor is part of the committee, and the team there will be guided on the priority projects of
The historic ceremony ended with group photographs as those in attendance expressed confidence in the new board. Others who inaugurated are Professor Edoba Amorigi SAN as member, Prince Dr. Richard Ahonaroho as secretary, Emmanuel Olakunle Oriazuwa Esquire member, Alexander Motinya Erungu member, Dr. Mrs. Loretta Oduwa Agboroko and Kingsley Motinya Jesuobo also as members. Best Orator reporting for BTV News.
Some members of the House of Representatives on Tuesday walked out of the House in protest against the move to reverse the passage of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. The report.
The development came after an executive session called by the Speaker, Tajuddin Abbas, did not resolve the issue as the House was plunged into another rowdy session over the matter. Trouble began after Francis Wave, chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Rules and Business, moved a motion for the House to reverse its decision on the bill, which was passed in December last year.
Delta State. I rise to move the motion for the rescission of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2025, pursuant to Order 9, Rule 1, 6 of the Standing Orders of the House of Representatives. The House notes that on Tuesday, 23 December 2025, the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2025 was passed. Aware that a technical committee comprising the leadership of both chambers, members of the Conference Committee, the clerks of the Senate and the House of Representatives, and legal drafting experts from the Directorate of Legal Services of the National Assembly met to harmonize and address the identified anomalies, recognizes the imperative of ensuring electoral timeliness and statutory provisions, promote maximum participation, fairness, inclusivity, administrative efficiency, and public confidence in the electoral system, desirous of correcting the identified inconsistencies and unintended consequences through appropriate legislative action in order to safeguard the integrity of the electoral framework, the House resolves to rescind the decision on the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2025 and commit the same to the Committee of the Whole for consideration. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Principal Balogun, member representing Ibejuleke Federal Constituency, arise to second the motion ably moved by the Chairman Rules and Business to rescind the decision of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2025 and recommit same to the Committee of the Whole.
Then the House went into executive session. However, on return from the executive session, members stood on their feet and prevented the Deputy Speaker, Benjamin Kalu, from continuing with the proceedings. Eventually, aggrieved members walked out of the plenary. The lawmakers continued their protest over Clause 60, subsection 3, which deals with compulsory electronic transmission of results. Evelyn Izibili reporting for Beetv News.
The chairman of Oredo Local Government Council, Honorable Engineer Gabriel Iduseri, has reaffirmed that the Edo State government's ban on illegal ticketing remains fully in force, declaring that the council will not condone any form of extortion or unlawful revenue collection within the local government area. The report.
Honorable Gabriel Iduseri made this position clear following the apprehension of individuals allegedly engaged in illegal ticketing activities in part of the city center by the Oredo Task Force. He warned that both officials and unauthorized persons found violating the state directive would face the full weight of the law.
Going around to ensure that nobody is breaking the rules of the state government and the local government. Anybody caught collecting revenue from anybody will be arrested and handed over to law enforcement agency.
The council board stressed that illegal ticketing not only disrupt public order, undue burden on residents and transport operators who rely on legitimate means of livelihood. He noted that his administration is determined to sanitize revenue collection processes and protect citizens from exploitation.
Illegal, 100% illegal, and I did permit this. The governor has given an instruction that nobody should collect revenue from anybody. And if you are found doing so, you are on your own. I have no hand in it, and I did not give such instruction. So today, I'm handing over these 3 men to the police station and they will proceed to the court for violating the law.
It will be recalled that recently, Honorable Iduseri convened a strategic security meeting with the 23 sectors of the Edo State Security Corps, where enforcement of the ban formed a major part of discussion. The meeting came on the heel of his intervention at Ugbo Market, aimed at addressing concern surrounding unauthorized ticketing, reacting to a recent incident linked to illegal ticketing which reportedly resulted to loss of lives. The chairman expressed deep concern and extended his sympathies to affected families. He, however, called on residents of Oredo to remain calm and law-abiding, assuring them that the council is working closely with relevant security agencies to tackle the menace and strengthen safety across the area.
What we found doing what we did not ask them to do, or going to go and extort money illegally, we will not only give them query, we will report them to head office to remove them completely.
Honorable Iduseri reiterated that his administration remains committed to maintaining peace, ensuring lawful revenue practices, and fostering an environment where businesses and residents can operate without fear or intimidation. Favor Kolawole reporting for Beetv News.
We'll take a quick short break and we'll be right back shortly. Please stay with us.
I am Amade Dexmond Enabulele, the Executive Chairman, Edo State Sports Commission. Esteemed people of Edo State, the second Niger Delta Games are here. I warmly invite every resident on behalf of Edo State government to come and witness the excitement of the biggest regional games taking place right here in Benin City from 20th to 27th February 2026. The opening ceremony is scheduled to hold at the iconic Samuel Bermuda Stadium on Friday, beginning from 5 p.m. I encourage families, youths, and sport lovers to come out in large numbers to support the athletes and enjoy world-class competition as we host the rest of Niger Delta people in our dear states. Together, let us showcase the hospitality and passion of Edo State as we make this edition of the Girls memorable. Thank you.
Welcome back from that short break. Supporters gathered at the Federal Capital Territory Office of the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, EFCC, as former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai appeared before the agency. The Mega National Movement for Good Governance said the prosecution of the former governor is a constitutional matter that must not be politicized. The group emphasized that the case is about accountability and restoring public trust in public institutions. According to the movement, several former appointees of the Kaduna State government are already under investigation. It urged anti-graft agencies to continue their probes transparently and in accordance with the law. The group maintained that due process must be allowed, stressing that the fight against corruption should remain impartial and focus on upholding the rule of law.
The relevant anti-graft agency, particularly the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, and the Independent Corrupt Practice Commission to do the needful by diligently and transparently continue their investigation in accordance with the constitutional provision and the rule of law. The process must be thoroughly investigated.
The EFCC, as we know it to be, is going to do its job professionally, and we are going to attend to all the issues that you have raised in your letter. And I also want to enjoin you to continue to be peaceful in the exercise of your right, because that is what democracy is all about. But I can assure you that as far as the EFCC is concerned, the right thing will be done, our processes and procedures will be followed, and Nigerians will see that we have actually acquitted ourselves very well concerning this issue.
The People's Democratic Party, PDP, the Labour Party, LP, and 3 other political parties have announced that they will not participate in the August 8th governorship election in Osun State following the omission of their candidate's name from the list published by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC.
INEC on Monday displayed the names of 14 governorship candidates and their running mates at its state office in Oshogbo and across all local government offices in Osun State. The publication confirms the candidates eligible to appear on the ballot and provides voters with clarity on the choices before them, marking a critical step in the electoral timetable. The resident electoral commissioner for the state, Mutiu Agboke, explained that only 14 out of the 19 registered political parties met the requirements to participate in the election.
Those that fulfill the guidelines, were the ones that we have published them. Now, for those you are asking whether the reason for their exclusion is either of the two things. One, maybe for the purpose of litigations, among them, SDP is not there, PDP is not there, NRM is not there, YP, and Labour Party LP. So why all these are not there? Perhaps because of litigations. When you have litigation against the commission and the matter is ongoing, it's sub judice, INEC cannot allow you to benefit from the process. Then the other one perhaps was due to the fact that their inability to upload their candidate on our portal.
For the Independent National Electoral Commission, the focus now shifts to intensifying voter education efforts ahead of the election. The Commission says it will prioritize continuous voter registration, the collection of permanent voter cards, and the ongoing training of aid staff and ad hoc personnel, among other preparatory activities.
Election is coming. People that stayed away from registration cannot participate. Those who refuse to collect their permanent voter card cannot participate. So my plea to them is that they should please go and register. If you have lost your PVC, the window is still there for you to go and replace. As I speak to you now, our registration point is at the RA level. So they can also collect their permanent voter cards at RA level.
With the publication of the candidates list, the governorship race in Osun State has officially entered the decisive phase. However, political parties still have until March 4th to withdraw or replace their candidates ahead of the final publication of the names of governorship and deputy governorship candidates scheduled for March 9. Naomi Ewere reporting from Beetv News.
In Adamawa State, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has commended the Nigerian army for the progress recorded in the fight against insurgency, terrorism, and banditry. The president made the remarks in Yola during the inauguration of projects executed by Governor Amadu Umaru Fintiri. President Tinubu acknowledged the strong collaboration between the federal government and sub-national governments, describing it as vital to national development. He called on state governors to remain committed to prioritizing the welfare of citizens. The president also emphasized the need for sustained efforts in economic growth, infrastructure development, healthcare delivery, education reform, and social protection across the country.
To liberate Nigeria from banditry and insurgency. Together, we win. We are investing heavily in agriculture, human development capital. We must be able to feed ourselves, feed the country, while we continue to encourage our governors. Many of you are here present. But I must say the solidarity that exists between the federal government and subnationals is extremely encouraging. Umaru Fintiri, thank you very much for the inspiration and commitment to humanity.
The governor of Akwa Ibom State, Umobasi Edom, has reassured residents that there is no cause for alarm over reports alleging the transfer of oil wells from the state. He stressed that no propaganda or sentiments can overturn two valid Supreme Court judgments affirming the state's ownership of the oil wells, including the disputed 76 oil wells. Fielding questions from Government House correspondents upon their arrival on Sunday at the Victor Atta International Airport in Uyo, the governor expressed strong confidence in the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, noting that the president places a high premium on the rule of law in administering the country. Governor Eno affirmed his faith in due process, emphasizing that the matter is based on established facts and judicial pronouncements, not emotions.
In President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, I believe that the rule of law will be respected. I believe that we cannot throw away Supreme Court decisions twice, giving us that oil well. We have the boundaries of the maritime boundaries around all of these places, certified by the Boundary Commission, the Surveyor General's Office. The facts has nothing to do with sentiment. If we are to talk about sentiment, the same Supreme Court judgment that gave us those oil wells gave Cross River, the Itu, some of our villages in Itu. Till today, why has Cross River not allowed us to sit on the table to discuss how they will return our villages? These villages are Ibibio-speaking villages.
The South-South Development Commission, SSDC, has signed a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, with the Rural Electrification Agency, REA, to expand electricity access and drive socio-economic growth across the South-South region. The agreement formalized in Abuja is expected to deepen collaboration on rural areas.
As part of efforts to bridge the energy gap in Nigeria's oil-rich south, the federal government has unveiled an ambitious rural electrification roadmap for 2026. The plan, spearheaded by the Rural Electrification Agency, prioritizes decentralized solar mini-grids and clean energy clusters over reliance on the traditional national grid. The partnership between the South-South Development Commission and the Rural Electrification Agency is expected to strengthen local economies by enabling businesses to operate more efficiently while creating new opportunities for youth through emerging industries and innovation.
So we are now moving the REA, SSDC, we are moving from access to productivity, from projects to measurable regional transformation. So this signing is indeed implementation in action.
They are behind us, we are in front. So I want to thank you. And because you are the MD, choose to deal with first. You could have been east, you could have been west, you could have been anywhere. But maybe because of pressure from us, you decided to put us in front. And I can assure you, the team led by her, we will do our best to ensure that this relationship that we're going to sign.
The Rural Electrification Agency explains that the agreement would provide a framework for both agencies to jointly implement projects aimed at expanding electricity access to underserved communities in the South-South region.
We had identified the need for signing a framework that will make the two of us co-fund projects together. And in each, everybody will keep telling me that, oh, we want to be the first to sign this MOU, want to be the first to sign the MOU. And I'm happy to say here and to put it on the record that South-South Development Commission is the first that reached that.
The initiative is expected to create a robust funding pipeline that will catalyze critical power projects and drive socio-economic development across the South-South region. Naomi Ewere, reporting from Beetv News.
And now to the world of business. The Debt Management Office DMO plans to raise 800 billion naira through its February 2026 federal government bond auction, a sharp increase from the 350 billion naira offered in February 2025, but lower than the 900 billion naira issued in January 2026. The auction scheduled for February 23 with settlement on February 25 will comprise 400 billion naira of 17.95% FGN June 2032, 7-year reopening, 300 billion naira of 19.89% FGN May 2033, 10 years reopening, and 100 billion naira of 19% FGN February 2034, 10-year reopening. The report.
The planned insurance represents a year-on-year increase of 450 billion naira or 128.6%, meaning the federal government of Nigeria is seeking more than double the amount offered in the same period last year. Unlike February 2025, which included a 5-year bond, the 2026 offer focuses solely on 7- and 10-year tenor, signaling an effort to lengthen the average maturity of domestic debt and ease near-term refinancing pressure. Borrowing costs remain elevated, while the 7-year bond carries a slightly lower coupon of 17.95% compared to 18.50% on a similar tenor last year. The 10-year instruments are priced at 19% and 19.89%, reflecting prevailing high interest rates. Month-on-month, the February offer is 100 billion naira lower than January's 900 billion naira insurance, marking an 11.1% decline. Stakeholders at the 47th Kaduna International Trade Fair were given fresh insight into the long-term strategy of the Dangote Group as its representative Fatima Wali Abdurrahman outlined the company's Vision 2030 roadmap. Speaking during the company's special day at the fair, she highlighted plans to deepen Nigeria's industrial base and promote economic self-reliance through expanded local production and value addition. She explained that Vision 2030 aims to position the conglomerate as a leading global manufacturing powerhouse while supporting national economic growth through job creation, technology adoption, and stronger supply chains. Investment in cement, fertilizers, petrochemicals, energy, sugar, and salt are designed to reduce import dependence and strengthen domestic manufacturing capacity in line with ongoing economic reforms. Wali Abdurrahman also emphasized the importance of partnership with small and medium-sized enterprises, distributors, and local suppliers. She noted that sustainable industrial development depends on inclusive partnership across the value chain to drive long-term economic progress. Nigeria produced 2.71 trillion standard cubic feet of gas in 2025, exceeding the 2.5 trillion standard cubic feet recorded in 2024, according to data from the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission. Of the 2025 output, 942.7 billion standard cubic feet, about 34.8%, was exported, while 780.6 billion standard cubic feet was sold domestically, and 776.6 billion standard cubic feet was used for field operation. Total gas utilized during the year stood at 2.5 trillion standard cubic feet, representing a utilization rate of 92.4%. Associated gas accounted for 1.456 trillion standard cubic feet of production, while non-associated gas contributed 1.25 trillion standard cubic feet, reflecting a relatively balanced output from both sources. Monthly production peaked in July at 250.9 billion standard cubic feet, with strong performance also recorded in May and June. Output fell to a low of 198.3 billion standard cubic feet in September before rebounding to 221.1 billion standard cubic feet in October and moderating to about 212.5 billion standard cubic feet in both November and December. The Commission noted that figures for the last 3 months are provisional and subject to reconciliation. Favor Kolawole reporting for Beetv News.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio affirmed on February 16, 2026, that President Donald Trump is firmly committed to the political success of Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, declaring that his leadership is crucial for U.S. national interests and heralding what he described as a golden era in U.S.-Hungary relations. The reports.
Speaking at a joint press conference in Budapest alongside Orban, Rubio said Trump's support for Hungarian leader goes beyond diplomatic courtesy and reflects a strategic alignment on key political and security issues. He told Orban that President Trump is deeply committed to his success because his success is their success, linking Hungary's stability and prosperity directly with U.S. interests. Rubio stressed that the personal rapport between Trump and Orban has helped elevate bilateral cooperation, framing it as essential for advancing shared goals in Central Europe and beyond. The Secretary of State pointed to growing the U.S.-Hungary partnership on energy and security matters as evidence of increasingly close ties. The statement comes amid a tight parliamentary election campaign set for April 12, 2026. Where Orban's long-ruling Fidesz party faces stiff competition from opposition forces. Rubio's visit and endorsement were widely seen as part of a broader effort by Trump's administration to support conservative leaders in Europe, particularly those aligned ideologically with Trump's policy. During the visits, U.S. and Hungarian officials also signed a civil nuclear cooperation agreement, expanding energy ties and incorporating U.S. technology and fuel provisions. Rubio noted that such deals reflect the golden era of relations and underscored Hungary's role as a partner in regional energy and security frameworks. Rubio remains highlighted diverging views within Europe and Hungary's policy, especially its continued engagement with Russia and resistance to certain European Union approaches to Ukraine. Nevertheless, the U.S. administration signaled its views Hungary as a key ally, especially under Orban's leadership in shaping Central European stability. Oban, for his part, welcomed the support and reiterated his commitment to fostering strong ties with the United States while also inviting Trump to visit Hungary ahead of the election. Favor Kolawole reporting for Beetv News.
Nigerian gospel minister and pastor Nathaniel Bassey has recounted an encounter with an alleged traditional spiritualist who he claimed attempted to place him under a spell. The cleric said the incident occurred along an express road and marked the second time the individual had approached him. The report.
According to Bassey, the man knocked on his car window and began what he described as an enchantment intended to influence him. He explained that he responded by declaring Bible verses affirming divine protection and expressed confidence that the alleged spell would not succeed. Bassey said the man lingered briefly before he eventually ordered him to leave the scene. Reflecting on the experience, the pastor stated that his testimony was not meant to glorify evil but to underscore his belief in spiritual realities and the power of faith. In another development, Lagos-based cleric Kingsley Okonkwo has addressed criticism from fellow ministers over his tattoo, expressing displeasure at what he described as condemnation from junior pastors. Speaking during a recent sermon, the pastor said he felt insulted by ministers he believes lack the spiritual standing to question his personal choices. He maintained that none of the critics clearly identified tattoos as sinful, but instead debated whether it was appropriate for a pastor to publicly display one. Okonkwo emphasized that there is hierarchy in spiritual leadership and suggested that some of the backlash stemmed from religious rigidity rather than doctrinal clarity. Grammy-winning U.S. songwriter Billy Steinberg has died at the age of 75 following a cancer diagnosis in Los Angeles. His family described him as a visionary lyricist whose deeply personal reflections became global anthems. Over a 4-decade career, he earned numerous accolades, including a Grammy Award for his work on Falling Into You by Celine Dion. Steinberg was best known for co-writing Like a Virgin, the breakthrough hit for Madonna that topped the US Billboard Hot 100 in 1984. Working closely with songwriter Tom Kelly, he helped create a string of chart-topping songs, including True Colors for Cyndi Lauper and So Emotional for Whitney Houston. His work was recorded by major artists such as Roy Orbison, David Lovato, and the Bangles. Inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2011, Steinberg leaves behind a legacy of enduring pop classics and is survived by his wife, Trina, 2 sons, and 2 stepchildren. Naomi Ewere reporting from Beetv News.
Nigerians continue to await the verdicts of World Football Governing Body FIFA over a petition submitted by the Nigerian Football Federation alleging that Dr. Congo fielded ineligible players during last November's 2025 World Cup African playoffs. FIFA's decision, earlier reported to be announced after the body's meeting on Monday, has yet to be released and is now expected on Tuesday, today. African football fans, especially Nigerians, continue to await the ruling, given that the outcome could potentially where one of the last World Cup tickets is on offer. In November 2025, Nigeria qualification, ending their And lastly, on the news bulletin, England and Arsenal winger Bukayo Saka has signed a new 5-year contract with Arsenal, keeping him at the Emirates until 2031. The deal makes him the club's highest paid player, with wages exceeding €300,000 per week. The 24-year-old previous deal signed in 2023 was due to run until 2027, but the new agreement ensures Saka will spend his peak years at the Gunners. Talks over the contract had been ongoing for nearly a year, with Saka verbally committing to the club in January. Saka's extension is a major boost for manager Mikel Arteta as Arsenal competes on four fronts in search of their first major trophy since 2020. The Gunners currently leads the Premier League by 4 points and will face Manchester City in the EFL Cup finals in March. They have also reached the knockout stages of the Champions League and the 5th round of the FA Cup. This season, Saka has scored 7 goals in 33 appearances across all competitions, remaining a central figure in Arsenal's title push. His new deal follows a summer of long-term renewals for the club, with William Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, Ethan Nwaneri and Miles Lewis-Kelly all committing their futures to the Gunners. And that is the size of our news package for tonight. Many thanks for joining us on Beetv.